Guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, as you can see, it's a bit difficult to get out on the course at the moment. Hopefully we will be able to find a way of getting around that. But today we're going to do a blind shaft challenge, aren't we?
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to do is I've got 3 steel shafts, all from the same manufacturer, but they have given them the regular, the stiff, the extra stiff rating and qualities. I'm going to hand them to Greg here. He's going to hit 5 shots with each shaft, not knowing what they are, so the regular, the stiff or extra stiff, and we're going to see if it makes any difference, what shaft might actually be better for you that you might not know.
Yep.
And yeah, see what the numbers produce on the GC quad and do this as a bit of an experiment. So, you ready?
Let's do this.
Okay, so steel KBS Tour shafts. They're all slightly differently weighted, but apart from that, you can't really tell, obviously, from the weight of the shaft. So the 110 is regular, the 120 is stiff, and the 130 is extra stiff. But the club's actually going to be facing down, so Greg's not actually going to be able to see when he's standing over the ball what shaft he's actually got in his hand. They're all the same length. And we're going to be using the M2 tailor-made iron. So we're going to dot it up, get the data up on the screen. Greg's going to walk out. I'm going to make up a club and then hand it to him. And yeah, let's see how he gets on. Okay, Greg's out the door, so he can't actually hear what I'm saying. So the first one I'm going to go for is the 120, which is the stiff flex shaft. That's probably going to be the most easiest, well fit one for him, but we'll see. So what I'll do is I'll get him in, hit 5 shots, see what kind of numbers he produces. Okay, 5 shots.
Let's go.
Shaft number 1. Let's go. Okay, apart from your hands falling off from that thinny wedge.
That last one hurt. That last one hurt.
What? Talk to me about the shaft. What do you think about the shaft?
It felt quite stiff.
Yeah.
Felt a bit heavy as well.
Okay.
Than what I'm used to.
So if you were to give it a prediction, what would you go for?
I'm going to go with the 130 extra stiff.
Cool, extra stiff shaft for that. So let's have a quick look at the TV if it doesn't flash as much. So all slightly to the right hand side, so obviously that would or tend to think that obviously is a stiffer shaft. Spin rate 5,800, and there's your stats all there. Okay, round 1 done. That was slightly interesting, to be fair. So they all went slightly to the right hand side. I'm now actually going to put in the extra stiff shaft now, so we should see this even go a bit further right, slightly a bit lower, and obviously the spin rate slightly down as well. So go get Greg back in, get him to hit it, see if that's the case. Right then, round 2, different shaft. Let's go. Right, Gregory. Slightly better then?
Yeah, felt better.
Mm-hmm.
Felt a bit lighter than the last one.
Yeah.
To be honest, shot-wise was quite good, a bit more distant.
Shots was better, definitely. The backspin actually, 6,200. Quickly go back to thingy. What was the ones on the last shaft spin rate-wise, on average?
5,500, I think they were.
Was that all of them, or was, because I know you hit the last one slightly thin. Quickly double check. So you can see there, actually relatively straighter, much more online as well, which was interesting. So there's the numbers of the first one. So the first one is the last one that we had, wasn't it? Number 5 was 5,800. The other ones, 7,000, 6,000, 6,000, 6,000, so on. Slightly lower backspin maybe than on average with the next iron.
Number 6 is a green one as well. You just put it.
Next, yeah, sorry. Number 6 was supposed to be also the green one. So less backspin. Less backspin with the second shaft, but much more on target. Did you felt like the weighting was better? More control?
It felt a little bit easier to square up club face.
Good. Right.
Dispersion wise, I take it, it's quite good.
Dispersion was very good.
So yeah.
Excellent. Right, next shaft. Okay, that was really interesting to see obviously where Greg was finishing the ball on target. Obviously I didn't check the averages from the first shaft, so that's why I was surprised when obviously the backspin was a lot higher. So on average, obviously there was less backspin with the extra stiff shaft, which is what you would expect. Obviously you caught a thin one on the last one with a stiff shaft, so that's obviously why the numbers were a bit lower. So we've now got the regular flex shaft. Would expect to see maybe one to go a bit left of target, because that club face is going to shut a bit more on the way down, and we're going to see less backspin. More backspin. More backspin. Go.
Feels different.
In what way would you say?
The weight of it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you how.
Couldn't say if it's lighter or heavier though.
There's a difference.
There is a difference there to be had. What did you think the last shaft was?
That was the regular.
You thought the last one was regular.
Extra stiff was the first.
Yeah.
Regular, this is the 120 stiff.
Okay, cool. Go on then. Okay, so what we have here, so the blue dots is the last shaft, so we see a few shots that have gone to the left there. Majority in terms of like patterns, I think when you hit them, they've all just been slightly right at target today.
Yeah, that's my normal bad shot, I'd say.
Okay, so as we're looking at the clubs, I can now reveal Greg. So Greg, the first shaft that we had was the stiff flex shaft.
Okay.
And then we moved on to the extra stiff, which I think was actually better. Now I was predicting that it was going to go even further right as soon as I gave you an extra stiff shaft, but we could say that obviously you're a pro, you've adapted to obviously the 5 shots that you hit for. You probably tried to close it a bit more on the way down maybe for the next one. And then it was the regular flex shaft to finish up with. So one leap left, which is probably what we would expect. Sporadic. You hold that quickly. I want to have a look at the spin rate difference on all the clubs. So, having a look there, interestingly, not that much backspin. Not that much backspin with the regular flex shaft. Probably the same. There's not much, I would say, difference between all 3 shafts when it came to the backspin. What would you say?
I'd say if you look at
clubhead speed's interesting. Clubhead speed's obviously up with the regular flex shaft.
Yeah.
119 with the green and 117 with the stiff, but that could be you warming up.
But for me personally, if you look at the carry distances, even though with the regular it's going further,
yeah,
the worst shot and the best shot, there's a massive difference. Whereas if you look at the green one,
yeah,
you got 169, 166, 168, 165, 166. So for me, that would give me, I know where it's going to be landing, even though it might not be the furthest.
No, I completely agree. And yeah, getting that kind of feel and that control versus obviously trying to get a gain improvement, getting that distance that someone might be requiring. That's obviously makes a big difference when it comes to the club.
Massively.
Interesting, wasn't it?
Very, very.
So obviously looking from there, you can see regular flex shafts. Greg was getting a bigger dispersion in clubhead speed, distance, especially with a few of the shots. Some of them really got out there. There's a few that are about 170 with the 7-iron, which is good. But personally, I think for Greg and myself, accuracy and dispersion is obviously key. We don't really care if it's going to go 150, 155, 160, as long as it's always going to be that.
Exactly, as long as we know that it's going to land on that number each time, and we're not going to get that one that jumps 15 yards extra through the air.
100%, and there might be that player out there that actually dispersion is not necessarily a problem because the swing speed's a bit lower. All they want is that extra 5–10% on their clubs.
Yep.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Go and follow Greg on Instagram at Greg Roosland PGA. As always, subscribe to this video, and we'll catch you guys there.